Shabbat Shalom. We're going to begin our service on page 10.
Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, chiri biri biri bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbat Shalom, hey, Shabbat Shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, hey, Shabbat Shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, chiri biri biri bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam.
Page 170, we join together if you can read. May my life be one link in a chain of goodness. As I say the prayers of my ancestors, help me to recall their devotion and faithfulness, their joy and suffering, which are in every word. Holiness is my heritage. May I be worthy of it. May our tradition live in me and pass from me to generations I shall never know, enriched by the truth that I have found and the good deeds I have done. So may I fulfill my task on earth and receive my blessing. And when the service ends and the prayers have ceased, help me to bring their spirit into the world in which I live. May I love God above all and my neighbor as myself, and be a living witness to the truth that never changes. Page 172, Ma Tovu. Let's hear those shakers.
Oh, halecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma tovu, oh, halecha Yaakov,
On page 173, we join together. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe. With divine wisdom you have made our bodies, combining veins, arteries, and vital organs into a finely balanced network. Wondrous maker and sustainer of life, were one of them to fail, how well we are aware. We would lack the strength to sustain life before you. Blessed are you, Adonai, source of our health and strength. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofeh chol basar umafli la'asot. On page 174, Elohai neshama shenatata bi, my God, the soul you have given me is pure.
Elohai neshama shenatata bi dehorai. Elohai neshama shenatata bi dehorai. Elohai neshama shenatata bi Tehorai, Tehorai, Elohai neshama shenatata bi Tehorai, Elohai neshama shenatata Shenatata bi Tehorahi.
Page 182 at the bottom. For our teachers and their students, and the students of the students, we ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say, Amen. And for those who study Torah here and everywhere, may they be blessed with all they need, and let us say, Amen. We ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say, Amen. We rise for the Baruch Hu, which is on page 195.
Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
On page 196, we join together. The world is sunlight, restoring the soul, rejoicing the heart, bringing light to the eyes, more welcomed than gold, a Torah from heaven. I have no light to give the morning. My Torah, my special human gift, is words. As I bring my words forth from silence, welcome them, you who redeems the sun from darkness. Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer HaMeorot. On page 200, we join together singing Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Please be seated. And we continue together with the V'ahavta on page 201. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam livanecha, vidibarta baham, vishivtecha beveitecha, uvlechtecha vaderech, ushochbecha uvekumecha, ukshartam leod al yadecha, v'hayu letodafot bein einecha, Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizcheru vasitem et kol mitzvotai vitem kedoshim lelohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher Hotzeiti Etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim, Liot Lachem Le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Emet.
Page 203. We join together. Sing the song of men and women, joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, the song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. This is the perfect time to use those shakers. Micha Mocha, page 204.
Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha nedar v'kodesh, Nora tehilot osei fele, Nora tehilot osei fele. Shir chadasha, shibchu geulim, l'shimcha svat hayam, yachad kulam odu, v'himlichu v'ameru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Yai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Zu Yisrael, Kuma be'ezrat Yisrael, Ufedeichenu mecha, Yehuda v'Yisrael. Go'alenu, Adonai Tzevaot Shemo, Kedosh Yisrael, Baruch Ata Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael.
We rise for the Amidah, beginning on page 205.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Hastei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mei Gula Livnei V'Neihem, L'man Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Abraham, Bezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol Atarav Lehoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayei HaKol Beracham רחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שנקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, כבודו. אדיר אדירנו, אדוני אדוננו, אדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גואלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושיבך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
You may be seated.
ישמחו.
On page 211, join with us, Yismechu.
ישמחו מלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, בקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו מלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, בקוראי עונג שבת. מקדשי שביעית שבת, כולם יצבעו ויתענגו מצוות השבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, וקוראי עונג שבת. בשביעי רצית בו וקידשת שבת. חמנד ימים אותו קראת השבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי Shabbat. Yismechu b'malachutecha. Shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat. V'korei oneg Shabbat.
I love all the shakers. Bottom of 211, read with me. The meaning of Shabbat is to celebrate time rather than space. 6 days a week, we live under the tyranny of things of space. On Shabbat, we try to become attuned to holiness in time. It is a day on which we are called upon to share in what is eternal in time, to turn from the results of creation to the mystery of creation, from the world of creation to the creation of the world. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-Shabbat. So a lot of times we forget to be really thankful. It's easy to just say, oh yeah, we're going to temple. Oh yeah, it's sunny out. Sort of, it's a little cloudy, right? But to think about all of the things that are around us and to be grateful. And we have a whole spot in our service where we thank God for all of the things around us. So turn to somebody near you, whether it's your family, somebody you came with, a friend, and talk about what you are grateful for, what you're thankful for. Could be the light coming in through the windows, could be the shakers and the dancing, the singing. But ask each other, yeah. All right, so we have all these things we're grateful for. Does anyone want to share something they're grateful for? Okay, Josh apparently wants to share. Yes. Do you want to tell everybody? Oh, you're grateful for your family who's nice to you and you like to be nice to them? Very nice. Anyone else want to share what they're grateful for? To be alive. Thank you, Andrew. A simple one, but we don't think about it all the time, right? Yes. I love it. Family time, being with mom, being with daughter, Mother's Day coming up, right? A great opportunity. Yes, Betsy. Awesome, right? For Temple welcoming you with love. I love that. Wonderful. So we have all these things that we are grateful for, and Shabbat gives us that time to stop and think about it. We don't always do that, but Shabbat reminds us it's time to do that. And we also have this opportunity to pray for peace. So I want us to do that together on the bottom of 216. We're going to do this together. Oh God, may we never become complacent, faltering in our effort to build a world of peace. Let the nations know and understand that justice and right are better than dominion and conquest. May all come to see that it is not by might nor by power, but by your spirit that life prevails. Continue on 217. Praised are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamivarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. So this is our time to take a minute to just be quiet and silent and think about the things that we are grateful for, the things we are praying for peace, for wholeness, happiness, and Shabbat.
Oseh shalom bimromav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imaru, amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
So if you are under the age of 13 or with somebody who's under the age of 13 and you would like to come sit on the floor up front to hear a story being read, we would love to have you join us. Cantor is going to read a story, and if your parents or a trusted adult that is here, or if you are the trusted adult, you can decide. If you would like a lollipop, you can get a lollipop for the story. All right, when you get a lollipop, come sit on the floor over here so you can hear the story.
This story is called Bone Button Borscht by Aubrey Davis. And the illustrations are by, I'm not going to get the pronunciation right, Dusan de Petricic. I apologize to the illustrator. One dark winter's night, a ragged little beggar hobbled along a lonely road. It was snowy and bitter cold, but in his head, it was nice and warm. He saw a blazing fireplace and a table loaded with bowls of borscht, which is a kind of soup, noodle pudding, roast chicken, fruit, nuts, and a jug of wine. And his host was saying, "More chicken, Mr. Beggar?" And he was saying, "Oh no, I couldn't eat another bite." Looks kind of cold in the picture, doesn't it? Ah, there's nothing like being a beggar, he thought. Such good it brings out in people. They share, they give. And me, I get a little something too. It's perfect. The beggar reached the very top of a hill. He peered out through the driving snow into the night. So where is this town, he thought. There should be a town down at the bottom of the hill. Look, there's a town. And he walked downhill. As he walked downhill, small shadowy houses slowly took shape on his left and on his right. "Fine," he said. "Now I see the town, but where are all the lights? Where are the people?" So we knocked on a door. Can you all knock with me? "Please, a little food for a poor starving beggar," he cried. A face appeared in the frosty window, then vanished. There were footsteps and then silence. They didn't even answer the door. The beggar went to another house and knocked. "Please help me, I'm hungry and cold." "Go away," called a voice from within. "Just let me in for a few minutes even." "No, go away." So the beggar moved on. from house to house and door to door, but no one would help him. What is wrong with these people? He wondered. He trudged further down the road. Suddenly, he spotted a thin line of light in the snow. You see the light? Wonder what it is. He followed it to a crack in a doorway, pushed the door open, and went inside. It was a synagogue. Thank God for synagogues, he cried, and rushed inside. As he warmed himself by the stove, he looked around the room. Suddenly, he spotted a man in the shadows. It was the synagogue caretaker, the shamus. Shalom Aleichem, peace be with you, called the beggar. The shamus did not answer. Strange, thought the beggar. A glimmer crept into his eye, and the corners of his mouth turned up ever so slightly. He had an idea. Wonder what it is. He grabbed one of the bone buttons on his coat and tugged. Off came the button. Off came two more buttons. And another, and another. Still, the shamus did not speak, but now he was looking at the beggar, because now the shamus was curious. The beggar counted the buttons. There were 5. Can you count with me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oi, said the beggar, if I only had one more button. The shamus said nothing. Oi, if I only had one more button. Shamus still didn't say anything. Oi, if I only had one more button. Finally, the shamus spoke. Look, mister, I won't give you a button. No one in this town will give you a button. Why not? Because we're poor, Mr. Beggar. We don't give to each other anymore, so why should we give even a button to a stranger? Why? Asked the beggar. Because with one more button, I could make us a soup. I could make a nice hot borscht. That's ridiculous, scoffed the shamus. Impossible. Nobody makes borscht from buttons. Borscht comes from beets. Mr. Shamus, said the beggar, I'm shocked. Haven't you ever heard of bone button borscht? Bone button borscht? Let me explain, said the beggar. These buttons in my hand are very special. With just one more button from you, I can make bone button borscht for the whole town. I can make you a miracle, Mr. Shamus. Naturally, the shamus was curious. All right, he cried, I'll get the button, and he ran to the door. Wait, called the beggar. I'll need bowls and cups and a knife and a ladle and a spoon, oh, and a pot. The shamus sped down the road to the tailor's door, and he knocked. Think the tailor will have a button? Mendel, Mendel, give me a bone button, he called. No. Go away, shouted Mendel. No, Mendel, you don't understand. The button isn't for me. It's for the little beggar in the synagogue. He's going to make a miracle. With my bone button? Asked Mendel the tailor. What's he going to do? Teach it to sing? No, Mendel, he needs it for the borscht. He's going to make borscht from the buttons. What do you think Mendel said? That's impossible. You're right. Nobody can make borscht from buttons. Listen, Mendel, said the shamus, give me the button. What's it going to hurt? Maybe we'll have a miracle. All right, replied Mendel, I'll give you the button, but I want to come too. I want to see this miracle. So come, said the shamus. They ran to the house next door and knocked. Leah, Leah, give us a wooden spoon. No, go away. Leah, it's not for us. It's for the little beggar in the synagogue. He's going to make a miracle. With my spoon? Said Leah. What's he going to do? Use it to part the Red Sea? Is it going to dance maybe? No, Leah, he needs it for the borscht. He's going to make borscht from buttons. What do you think Leah said? That's impossible. Look, Leah, give us the spoon. What's it going to hurt? Maybe we'll have a miracle. All right, said Leah, but I want to come. I want to see this miracle. So come, said the shamus and the tailor. And my family too, she said. And they said, bring him. So look at what's happening. So Leah, her family, Mendel, and the Shamas marched down the street. They banged on doors. They begged, and they borrowed cups and bowls, a ladle, a knife, and a huge soup pot. Along with all these things, the crowd grew. Can you see how everybody's getting bigger? All these people. And with all these things, the crowd grew, and they chattered, and they went to the synagogue, and other people came to their doors and windows, and look at what happened. All of a sudden, everybody in town is there. And they're telling each other, there's a beggar in the synagogue. He's going to make borscht from buttons. And they all said, that's impossible. But they were curious, and they grabbed their hats and coats, and they joined everybody else. By the time the Shamas reached the synagogue, the whole town was there. The people crammed themselves inside. The beggar looked up and cried, Shalom Aleichem, peace be with you. Silence. Then someone called out, so, Mr. Miracle Man, make us a miracle. You want a miracle, said the beggar? I'll give you a miracle. Pot, he cried, and they put the pot on the stove. Water, and they poured in the water. Button, they gave him the button. Count with me. How many buttons is it going to put in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 plunks. The beggar dropped in all of the buttons. He picked up the wooden spoon and he stirred. When the pot began to steam and bubble, he spooned out some and took a whiff. Not bad, he said, but it could be better. What could make it better? A little sugar, a little salt, a little pepper. That could make it better. So they brought him sugar and salt and pepper, and he sprinkled them all into the pot and stirred. Then he took another sniff. Not bad, but it could be better. What could make it better, asked the people. Have you got any pickle juice? That could make it better. So they brought him pickle juice, and he poured it into the pot. The beggar stirred, and then he stopped. He looked at the people. He looked in the pot. He looked at the people again. He looked at the pot. You've got problems, Mr. Beggar, asked the Shamas, the beggar friend. Wait, said the Shamas. He ran to the cupboard and brought back some garlic. Would this help, Mr. Beggar, he asked. Why not, laughed the beggar. Mr. Beggar, I've got some carrots, someone said. And I've got beets, called another. I've got onions. I got beans. Would these help, Mr. Beggar? They all asked. Can you see they're all bringing their things to put in the pot? What do you think happens? It wouldn't hurt, said the beggar. So the people ran off and returned with their arms full of vegetables. The beggar sliced them all. He diced, he chopped, he shredded, and he dumped them into the bubbling pot. And he stirred that borscht round and round. Do you know what we have here, said the beggar? We have a beautiful soup, a beautiful borscht, a very tasty borscht. Now, some people will say a little bit of cabbage really brings out the flavor, but I say keep it simple. Who needs cabbage for borscht? At the back of the synagogue, a woman waved her arm. She said, guess what she said? She said, I have cabbage. I'll bring you cabbage. And before the beggar could even reply, she'd run home and return with a sack full of cabbages and handed it to the beggar. He looked at the cabbages. He looked at the people. He shrugged his shoulders and he began to chop. He chopped every last cabbage into that soup. The people watched steam rise from the pot. They listened to the bubbling borscht. They smelled this rich, sweet, and sour aroma as it filled the synagogue. Bellies rumbled, mouths watered. Everyone pressed in closer when the beggar finally ladled some borscht into a cup. It was deep red and thick with vegetables. He blew on it, he blessed it, then he dipped in his spoon and he tasted it. Slurp, slurp, slurp. So, Mr. Beggar, how does it taste? The beggar smiled. Not bad. Who wants to try some? Everyone in the room rushed forward. They snatched cups. They grabbed bowls. They started saying, borscht, 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 borscht. The beggar patiently ladled steaming hot borscht into every bowl and cup. Soon everyone was sipping and slurping their soup. Then the people raised their arms. They rolled their eyes heavenward and they cried, delicious, perfectly delicious. This is the best borscht we've ever tasted. The little beggar did it. He made borscht out of buttons. It's a miracle. miracle. Then, like magic, bread appeared and boiled potatoes and roast chicken and wine. The people ate and they laughed and they ate. They brought out accordions and violins and they sang and they danced for hour after delightful hour. And when the last slurp of borscht was slurped, the last dance danced, the last song sung, the shamus invited the beggar to spend the night at his house. The next night, another family took him in, then another and another. One day, the beggar gathered the townsfolk together to say goodbye. Please don't go, they begged. I must, he said. But your buttons, how can we make borscht without your buttons? And how can I fasten my coat without buttons, said the beggar. How can I keep warm without buttons? So they traded with the beggar. They gave him brass buttons for the bone buttons. Then the beggar left. They never saw him again. Years passed. One by one, the beggar's bone buttons were lost. But it is a strange thing, a wonder, perhaps. The townsfolk learned they didn't really need the buttons. They learned to make borscht without them. And they learned to help one another without borscht, even in hard times. That was the real miracle the beggar left behind.
All right, so we are going to continue with our service, and we are going to. Are we doing Mishra?
We don't have to.
Yeah, it
No,
feels
I don't-
weird. Yeah.
yeah, you do.
We're going to continue with Aleinu. Hold on. You can come up with me. Will you come up with me? We're going to go up to the ark. So if you are here and you would like to come up to the ark, whether you're under 13 or not, you can come up to the ark if you want. We're going to. So come on up on the bema.
Who wants to help me open the ark? Come stand over here. You want to help too? No? Okay. All right. We all up? Okay, here we go. Pull.
Ooh, sorry.
Here. Yeah, this one.
So we are on page 283. Please rise.
There we go. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגור עלינו להמליך מלכותו. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. Let go, just the front one. Yeah, here. Keep working. Yep, keep going. Keep going. One more, very gentle. You did it. Thank you.
You may all be seated.
Next time.
So we are going to turn to page 288 for our memorial meditation. And as we do that, we note with sadness the death of longtime Temple Beth-El member Marlene Reynolds, who is the mother of Tara and Carrie Jetmore and Sheldon Reynolds and Nina Chandler, grandmother of Kezia and Jay Henry. Page 288. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved, and if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. Our thoughts turn now to those in our community and extended community who have died at this time in years past. As we mark their yahrzeits, we remember them. Henry Alterman, Aida Arriaga, Morris Bankler, Phyllis Braverman, Rose Brody, Shirley Brown, Alan Bucksbaum, Edith Cohen, Robert Dan, Ursula Devine, Lillian Dubb, Idella Fox, Meyer Franks, Jack Frazier, Margaret Friedman, Jose Garcia, Robert D. Glickenhaus, Jose Gonzalez, Ed C. Green, Mervyn Gregory, Jack Gross, Alan Guggenheim, Stanley Hammer Jr., James Hughes, Bobby Jackson, Nellie Jackson, Esther Reich Cantor, Rebecca Karatkin, Nick Kotz, Sabra Landy, Rosie Langbaum, William Lasser, Annie Lehman, Linda Faye Levy, Helen Molinas, Janet Marks, Cecilia Messick, Charles L. Meyer, Jacob Mitchell Meyerson, Nathaniel Montville, Heinz Nelke, Julian Opatoski, Dr. Richard Plum, John Popke, Jacob Rosenberg, Howard Rosenman, Gussie Schneps, Robert Schur, Lillian Schwartz, Marshall Seidman, Eugene Simon, Bobby Smith, Nadia Umansky, Barry Weatherly, May Hannah Wiener, Nathan M. Welsh, Freda Wender, and Paul P. Zimmerman. To these names, we add the names of those who've been laid to their eternal rest in the past month, whose family and friends are in a mourning period of Shloshim. We remember Murray Bubba Levine, Betsy Davidson, and Bob Brenner. We also think of one who has been laid to their eternal rest this past week, whose family is in a mourning period of Shiva. We remember M.M. Feld Jr., father of Temple Beth-El member Jan and Tracy Hammer, Michael Feld and Olive Smith, Ellen and Jan Schwartz Feld, Larry and Karen Feld, and Mark Feld and Lee Hamrick, grandfather to 11 and great-grandfather to 10. We turn now as we think of all of those who are in our hearts each and every day, as we rise together for Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish, on page 294. Yitzgadal v'yitzkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach yerutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam ulmei almaya, yitzvarach v'yishtabach v'yitzpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitzadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudesha brichu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, u'ya'asei shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, amen. We have our closing song with what we opened with, page 10, Bim Bom. This is when we dance and we get our shakers out.
Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, chiri biri biri bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. We'll collect your shakers on the way out, and we will head into the stall gallery for Kiddush and Motzi, and everyone is welcome to join us for lunch. I have to figure out where it is, and then I'll let you know. And but you can join us in the stall gallery for Kiddush and Motzi.